Thank you for staying with us. Innovation has continued to be a key driver of wealth creation for the society and offers optimism for the future. It is increasingly becoming an economic catalyst in today's globalized world. Innovation provides businesses with new opportunities to compete more effectively by reshaping their workforce strategies, whether through recruiting new talent, retaining current employees, or redeploying them into new roles. As creativity becomes a critical skill, the Tertiary Education Trust Fund is organizing an innovation fair for individuals to develop new products and services. Joining us for this conversation from our Abuja studio is Omar Bindi, Chairman of the Organizing Committee for the TED Fund National Research Fair Exhibition. Good morning, and thank you for joining us on the program this morning.
Very good morning. Good morning to all Nigerians.
Right. Now, not long ago, the Education Ministry briefed the press on the intention of the TED Fund in organizing the first ever National Research Fair in Abuja. Could you tell us what informed this idea and the parameters set in selecting participants and the plans to bring this exhibition to the fore?
Well, thank you very much. You know, TED Fund today is a household name. It is a very dynamic institution that constantly reviews its activities, reviews its outcomes and impacts, particularly on Nigerians. So over the last 15, 20 years of its existence, TED Fund has done very well for at least public tertiary institutions in establishing infrastructure, training and building capacity of staff within these institutions, and most especially, TED Fund has also supported research projects in these institutions to ensure that technology is popping out and solving Nigerians' problems. But the review recently by TED Fund, it has seen that despite the fact that the infrastructure bandwidth of Nigeria in terms of universities ranging between 200 to nearly 300 universities in this country, similar numbers for polytechnics, similar numbers of colleges of education, and so on and so forth, these institutions are supposed to be the factories, the infrastructure to produce massively the high capacities to drive the economy of this country, the intellectuals that should solve the problems of this country. This is very powerful. But on the other side, TED Fund has observed that how come that absolute poverty is endemic in our country? You know, most people don't have access to potable water. Their food is not good, and it is not available at the right price and quality when needed. The housing is not very good. The infrastructure is very weak. And then employment is not as vibrant as it should be. Therefore, it started the question to say that if the output of these institutions is actually aimed at solving Nigeria's problem, these kind of challenges should not be there. So TED Fund now, in its traditional function of supporting research and technology evolution in our institutions, extracted from the broad membership of what we call as the National Research Foundation Screening and Monitoring Committee. This crop of people, as the team that I am leading as chairman, TED Fund said, can't you look at these institutions and be able to bring out the outputs onto the table, outputs that are ready, outputs that can be taken by Nigerians, outputs that can power small and medium enterprises, outputs that can generate employment, outputs that can create wealth, and be able to now push that marriage to happen in a fair. So that's the genesis for the TED Fund National Research Fair Exhibition project. So this is literally the genesis of this project.
And now the next question I'd like to ask is that we understand one of the main motivation of the federal government through TED Fund in organizing the fair is to boost economic activities massively. Now, how soon do you think this can be achieved in speaking to the current various state of the nation's economy?
Well, thank you very much. I think when it comes to the policy for this particular strategy, Mr. President has very clearly set the agenda. He said he's implementing a renewed hope agenda. The renewed hope traditionally is addressing literally the hopeless. You identify the hopeless, you renew their hope, and then they start running, comfortably. So what is the secret, in my opinion, for this renewed hope? There are three. First is Mr. President wants to revamp the economy by creating a reasonable number of middle class, people who have skills, people who are engaged to do one thing or the other in trying to produce products and services to Nigerians. So that vibrance is what actually will regenerate the economy. Two, while doing that, Mr. President wants to massively generate employment, including high-wage employment. All these graduates, educated or non-educated, should actually be doing one thing or two in our country. The third level for the renewed hope is that while they do that, there should be income. We should be creating wealth and redistributing wealth. And with these ingredients, Nigeria will be peaceful, Nigeria will be respected, and the economy of Nigeria will be strong. So how do you do this? One of the most tangible ways to do this is to actually inject technology into the economy. So this research fair is, what we have done is that we've documented every single university, every single polytechnic, every single college of education in Nigeria, and we have released a call circular to say, if you have something that is tangible, that is literally scalable, that people can use to do one thing or the other to provide a product or service, please bring it onto the table through a very dedicated digital form that is simple. It is on our website, and people have gone there, and we have got massive response on that. On the other side, we have not forgotten that there are Nigerians in our communities who are very creative, who are coming up with solar application, drones, and so on and so forth. We've also created this community form, simplified, so that they can bring their things. I'm happy to report to you that we've got thousands from both groups. When we got this, we then screened it. Screening means you have to pick the ones that are applicable, the ones that are scalable, the ones that can be utilized now, or that can be reformed or refurbished or refined so that it can quickly be taken up by Nigerians. We've done that. We've shortlisted between 300 to 450 of these. Very neat. And we have invited them. They are coming on Sunday, the 17th of this month, to register, held at Eagle Square, so that by Monday, our own leaders will now come and trigger the fair to take off. Our hope and our target is that we've touched all the sectors. We have gotten these inventors to bring it. But technology to be taken up by somebody on a platform of technology transfer, there should be agreements. There should be negotiations. So we've brought the expertise that knows this also, lawyers and so on. Also, there are issues of intellectual property. We've spoken to the sector. They will come and participate. We've spoken to MAN, NASI, NASIMA, to bring their members or to come and see the opportunities to create more membership in terms of enterprises. We've spoken to the banks. We've been to Bank of Agriculture. We've spoken to Bank of Industry and many of the commercial banks so that they can come and see the opportunities for funding and supporting Mr. President to achieve his renewed hope. So all these stakeholders will be in Eagle Square from the 17th, which is the Sunday, is the entry point, until the 21st or 22nd, so that we can have a 3-4 days of activity. Our hope is that the negotiations, the deals, and so on and so forth will happen over this period of time, and at the end of the day, we will have some people who are taking Nigerian technology to establish their businesses. This will generate employment. This will create wealth, and this will try to revamp the activity or contribution of young people into the economy. So this is our target. Now, if we have, let's say, 100 people, and we get 5 that have actually succeeded at this level in this maiden edition, 5 over 100 is fantastic. Next year again, TED Fund hopes to continue this as an annual event. If we do that, we will get from 5 to probably 15 or 20. The following year, gradually, we will now brew a technological nation that other countries will probably come to our country to look for technology for their own development.
All right. So looking at the last question, I think I have something to follow up on that. How does the team in Nigerian youth, most of whom are really unemployed, benefit from the outcomes of this fair? Looking at all you have said and the fact that Nigerians will be better, but how can unemployed youth benefit from this?
Well, first of all, the fair has no charge. All Nigerians are invited to come. And we believe that if you are unemployed either educated or non-educated, and you come round the pavilions and you see soap making, tea packaging and marketing, technology to actually get engaged into agriculture, processing technology that can actually take agricultural produce from one level to the other. As a young person who is aggressively looking for a way out, you probably will ask the inventor, Oga, this soap, I have seen the process of making it, and I can see that if I can be able to make this soap, I may be able to sell and make some money and gradually develop. How can I become your friend? This is the idea of the fair. So now this is not just literal. It's not just take soap and go. He needs training. He needs the equipment. He needs a place to manufacture, meaning that he requires some kind of financial support and capacity building. In that place, there's Bank of Agriculture, there's Bank of Industry, there are philanthropists, there's commercial banks, there's CBN. All of these people have money, and they're looking for this type of opportunity to power Nigeria and help Mr. President to achieve his objective. And then they come and say, look, if we can see the feasibility of this project, to see that it is viable and it can be sold, we will fund it. This now you have the commercial people who are in there to say that, we can actually prepare the feasibility study to see where do you sell this soap? What kind of soap do they require? How many can you sell in a day? Who can market it? And so on and so forth. So again, the branding people, the business manager. So all these stakeholders are there. And gradually, we will now try to nurture this marriage. In fact, at the fair, we have what is called as the deal rooms. We have like 6 of them. And in this deal room, when the conversation starts, we can now take these people into the deal room, assist them to actually have a deal. And we're using the membership of the National Research Fund Screening and Monitoring Committee. It is between 50 to 60 highest level of professors in this country. There's nothing that they have not seen. We are now repowering that energy to come. And all these services is free to these young people. You know, so when you have a deal, then you can take it to the next level gradually. And then, as you ask, the young person can be employed. He will now employ himself. He may need the hands of 2 or 3 people. So you've now generated 4 employments. They will be high wage. Then the transporter of the soap to go and sell is another job. The seller in the market is now another job. And this is gradually the standard process to actually review and revamp economy of a great country like ours.
Interesting. Now we know that the penchant of some unscrupulous ones, as some will call it, in stealing and benefiting from other people's ideas. Are there plans in place by TED Fund to assist in protecting the intellectual property rights of the researchers, innovators that scale all the parameters set by the organizers?
Well, your question literally in the formal sense is talking about intellectual property. Intellectual property is very broad. There are inventions and innovations that you can patent. You can get the piece of paper from the patent registry, you know. So we have spoken to the patent registry and the design registry to come to the fair so that they are going around asking questions, helping these inventors to actually protect their inventions. There is also trademark. Trademark is the mark that you have that can facilitate your trade confidently so that people know the quality and the price and so on and so forth. We've spoken to the trademark office. The trademark registrar, Dr. Yauri, is coming there with his team to actually help out. There are things that are copyright protected. You know, if you leave it like this, people will copy them. There is also protection. We've spoken to the Copyright Commission. They will come there and be able to facilitate, to help these people understand the implications of copyright and how to protect it. There are trade secrets. We will also tell people that in this invention, how do you make your puff-puff puff up and it's sweet and so on? If you know the unique taste, how much onion do you put to make it taste very, close your mouth, don't speak about it. That is also intellectual property protection. Some people don't know that. And then we have, you know, a franchise arrangement. There are things that you have to arrange it into a business. You take the business and you just hand over to people. Like you see the Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's a package. It has the patented technology. It has the trademark. It has the packaging. It has the marketing. It has everything but packaged into a business. That too, we have got the expertise from the Association of Franchise to come and participate. So we've thought of this very, very clearly. But as you said, there are people who their main objective is just to be very, very destructive. You cannot avoid these people. But when you are prepared, when you are committed, when you are very, very puffed up to actually answer to the clarion calls of our leaders, then you have to continue to do it in a committed and passionate manner to be better. This is what we are putting on the table. So entry is free, young people come. My mother can come to that place to see this device that can fry masa or to make dudu oshun or to make dawadawa better is there for my mother to benefit. So the whole bandwidth of requirement is actually covered by the fair. Mark you, this is the maiden one. And don't expect 100%. You will not get it. So we'll gradually grow. We will do it, learn from it, and then move forward to the subsequent years.
Time, unfortunately, is not our friend, and so we'll have to wrap up the conversation here. But quickly tell us where the location is.
Well, the fair is going to happen between the 17th and 21st of November. This maiden edition is going to happen at Eagle Square in Abuja, and entry is free to both inventors and people to come and see. All these services that we produce are free. The minister will be there, and we hope, possibly, Mr. President himself will come and commission this fair.
Okay. We must thank you now, Chairman, TED Fund National Research Fair Committee, Engineer Dr. Umar Bindi, for your time on the program. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay.